New special bundles available. New Battle Pass season has arrived. Wait, I detected actual legitimate content. Skysong Isle content update released. New mythical dungeon, Skysong Isle added. Alright. New cross-server dungeon, Demon's Bane. A few new quests, challenges, weapons, gear, changes to existing content. Honestly, that isn't bad for an MMO that doesn't contain the terms Warcraft or Final in their name. But how has 2023 been doing? Items in the store, bundles in the store, outfits in the store. Oh, the class change feature was fully implemented permanently. I remember this being a very sought after feature. Oh, but it sells for 7,273 N coin. That's a pretty good deal, right? Let's take a look at the store and see what it equates to. 4,000 N coin, $50. 8,000 N coin, $100. No special discount there on the 8,000, no additional coins as a bonus for purchasing 8,000. I mean, that seems to me to be a little bit exorbitant. Holy shit, that's literally an entire month's worth of groceries for some people. Jesus Christ. Here we go. March 20th, Journey North, which includes Act 12, introducing an entirely new area, the Northern Continent, featuring new story, a new field boss, new features, new events, new gear, and items to spend real money on. Pet gems and stones in the store, Battle Pass Season 7, and that's pretty much 6 months worth of updates. In the last 6 months, Blade & Soul has introduced a new zone, some new quests, some new gear, and a ton of cash up items, including the highly sought after class change feature, which costs you $100. My god, what happened to this game? Before we delve any deeper into Blade & Soul, I want to take a moment here to thank my incredible patrons over on Patreon. You guys show more support than players show Blade & Soul, and I cannot express how much I appreciate that. Also, if you have a moment, consider following me over on Twitch, where I stream every weekend. Back in January, there was a letter from the producer that went over what happened in 2022 and what was coming in 2023. In the letter, the producer went on to state the following: "Looking forward to the future, I'd now like to discuss an upcoming adjustment to the 2023 content delivery. We shifted to a bi-monthly update cadence in September," see the producer letter, "but due to the need for additional development time, there will be 2 months within 2023 with lighter content than we had originally hoped." Over a 6-month period, there were a grand total of 2 updates. So that didn't really pan out as they had planned. Plenty of new content is still coming to Blade & Soul this year, and we're excited for you to see those releases. Oh yeah, new bundles, new battle passes, content referring exclusively to things that you can purchase with real money. However, we decided to spend additional time preparing, testing, and tailoring some of that content for North America and Europe. The first month with lighter content will be February, and the second is projected for September. We understand less content in any given month is not desired, but we're confident the overall outcome will be better for the development cycles and your play cycles moving through 2023 and beyond. Less frequent content updates is acceptable if the content itself is worthwhile. From what I've seen personally, that does not seem to be the case. Rest assured, we are putting all of our concerted efforts into making Blade & Soul as enjoyable as can be while respecting your day-to-day time by charging $100 for you to change your class. To that end, the March update is packed with loads of new content that we can't wait for you all to begin to play with. And you know what? That isn't untrue. The Journey to the North update came out in March, so I'll give them credit there. For 2023, our main goal as developers is to continue to grow Blade & Soul with the community's I can't even finish that sentence with a straight face. We plan on continuing to actively develop our game with the community's feedback. So we're gonna just introduce en masse cash up items, cash up updates, $100 class changes. That's what you want after all. Hold on. Let me compose myself here. With the community's feedback and communicate more about what we're doing. 6 months later, still no communication. You guys are doing a stellar job so far. We'll be putting out a minimum of 2 producer letters per year and providing additional insights throughout the year about our decision making. Our goal here is to strengthen the communication between the producers and the community. We hear your voices and feel strongly that you should feel heard, appreciated, and understood. So I'm guessing they're not going to be split half a year apart then, given it's already been roughly half a year thus far, and we've pretty much heard literally nothing at all. In terms of content cadence and content substance, 2023 has not been very good for Blade & Soul, and while the latter half of the year doesn't look to be improving in that regard, we should take the time here to look at the company overall. This will help us more deeply understand the state the game is currently in and potentially discern its future. Blade & Soul further reduces 2023 content plans. Alright, that's looking a little bit foreboding. NCSoft West loses CEO, lays off 20% of its staff, says Throne and Liberty is not impacted. Well, admittedly, that's a little bit more disconcerting, but we do know where their focus lies here. Unfortunately, that is not Blade & Soul. NCSoft fourth quarter 2022, Blade & Soul continues its deep decline, having seen its finances fall 64% over the last few years. Unfortunately, NCSoft's recent decisions to slow the game's content cadence seems likely to hasten, not reverse those fortunes. 64%. Oh my. And its decline is continuing? That is not what we want to hear. NCSoft's West restructures as NC America with shared CM for Lineage 2, Ion, and Blade & Soul. Having the same person manage the communities of each respective game, that does admittedly seem a little bit rough, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense as they do need to cut costs somehow. Might as well do so by removing community leads, reducing communication with each game's respective community, as is noted at the end of the article, who is now effectively working triple duty. Blade & Soul is a phenomenal MMORPG. It is the first MMO that MRSSSTIX and I played together, and we played every single day until we hit endgame. The graphics were stunning, the combat was so addictive, the PvP was fucking horribly unbalanced and pay to win. Nevertheless, the game had so many positive aspects to it, so many reasons to keep us enthralled and playing, but gradually, the reasons for us to log in continued to decrease. They removed content, story, quests, dungeons, actual real content, much to our dismay. The entire game felt like a single-player RPG that was overall quite underwhelming, as MMOs excel at being a multiplayer experience. It's clear that the devs aren't at all interested in continuing to produce high-quality content for the game, with their focus shifted to not only Blade & Soul 2 and Blade & Soul Revolution on mobile, which are horrible successors to the Blade & Soul name, and more recently Guild Wars 2's End of Dragons expansion and Throne and Liberty, a garbage autoplay mess that has the entire MMO scene upset with. Is Blade & Soul worth playing in 2023? At its core, it is still every bit as fun as it ever was, but finding the fun, literally physically seeking the fun out, is too arduous of a journey to involve yourself in. Games should be fun by default. You shouldn't have to try and find fun aspects of them. And that's what you have to do in Blade & Soul in 2023. It's a hollow shell of its former self, and looking at its stats, it's not slowing down in its decline. I wouldn't imagine the game survives 2024 without shutting down. Unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend returning to Blade & Soul in 2023 or heck likely 2024 either. It's just not worth it at this juncture. Now, if you're looking for an alternative to Blade & Soul in 2023, however, then look no further. I have 2 videos on screen right now that might be of more interest to you.